Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. In the last episode, we were in somewhat of an impasse because we didn't know whether talking to Kindly Chang here was going to take us to a point of no return. I went ahead and went in here to see what would happen, and actually, we can go ahead and talk to Kindly. So I reloaded the spot, and we're going to go have a chat here in the Mahjong parlor. Now, we also still have Dr. Shenyang to talk to. And we can talk to Gaichu. Now, I talked to Gaichu, and that actually gave me an achievement, but maybe we can go talk to him back when he's on the bolt hole. In the meantime, let's talk to Kindly. Kindly Chang is in the midst of emptying 2 plastic shopping bags when you enter. She places the contents in a pile on her mahjong table. 2 liquor bottles without labels, a box of thin black cigars, an assortment of individually wrapped gourmet chocolates, and a large caliber pistol with electrical tape wrapped around its grip. Ah, good. You're here. She finishes with the plastic bags and throws them to the floor. It seemed like forever since we last saw each other. Welcome back. Was your trip worthwhile? Her voice is filled with a rusty energy. Yes, my darling, yes. I met with several contacts within my network who referred me to others in neighboring cities. Regardless of how far technology moves forward, tradition demands that some things be handled face to face. I have returned with information that will lead you to the plastic-faced man. The man who killed Raymond Black. There is no Raymond Black. The Triad's woman's eyes narrow. What do you mean there's no Raymond Black? The man who raised us isn't Raymond Black. He's Edward Tsang, the son of Josephine Tsang. You were raised by Josephine's son? Her brow furrows. That explains where Edward went when he disappeared years ago. Seattle. What happened? I don't know. Just that he went missing after Josephine completed rebuilding the walled city. That was in the early 30s. Her face twists into a mask of disgust. You realize what this means, don't you, my sweet? That inbred little goat whore was cold enough to have her own son executed. Even more reason to find the plastic-faced man. What have you found out? Everything you need to move forward. She grabs a bottle and opens it. I know the identity of the plastic-faced man. His name is Li Tai Long, and he's an independent contractor. A trusted, deniable asset who handles all of Josephine Tsang's more delicate operations off the books and away from the public eye. The plastic-faced man is her shadowy right hand among the corporation. Cheng doesn't bother with the glass. She takes a long pull of the stinking bottle and wipes her mouth with the back of her hand. And I know how to find him, too. I made contact with an information broker, Zhao Ji, who works out of an abandoned night market in Shek Kip Mie called Xing House Court. It's not hard to find. She takes another pull on the bottle. Zhao Ji has gained access to the plastic-faced man's complete itinerary, where he'll be, who he'll be with, what sort of security he'll have, the works. She grins, glassy-eyed. You can use it to perform an extraction. Grab him and find out what he knows. Did you find out why Lee has the face made of plastic? It's not just his face. Li Tai Long's entire skull is synthetic. He designed himself to be the perfect corporate operative. He's installed a unique piece of headwear, you see. It allocates and compartmentalizes client-related memories so they can be erased upon completion of a job. And as an added security measure, this cortical implant will wipe his memory if it detects that he's being captured. Holy crap. So we need to find a way to circumvent the implant. Exactly. Unless you can find a way around the cortical implant, you'll have no way to extract the information he has and figure out what happened to Raymond Black. She circles the mouth of the bottle with her finger. Now, I've done my part in this, my darling. You need to find a way to neutralize that device. Iso interjects, her voice breaking slightly as she speaks. I know a way. I've heard of something like this before. I met someone in the Matrix who had a shirk of a similar memory wipe implant once, or had to shirk a similar memory wipe implant once. It was a requirement for a big job, and she pulled it off. Keep talking. Her handle is Dreamland, and I know where to find her. All that we have to do is convince her to give up the secret of how she did it. Okay. Iso and I will see Dreamland before we hit the information broker. Then we grab the plastic-faced man. No matter who you choose to help you snatch this guy, I'm going to be there when you extract the information from him about Raymond. Wu crosses his arms across his chest and tilts his head towards you. You got it, Caleb? We should all be there. Gobbet's eyebrows arch high. I know that I want to see this. Very good, my darlings. Now listen to me. After you get what you need from the plastic-faced man, I want you to end him. You understand? The Triad boss taps the table with her finger. I need to send a very clear message that this is what happens when you mess with Kindly Chang's operations. With Kindly Chang's people. Josephine takes Nightjar, I take her plastic-faced man. Once you snatch the plastic-faced man, Sang will know something is happening, and events will unfold very quickly after that. You best close out any pressing business you have before heading to Shek Mei to see Zhao Ji. Do you understand? I'll check my mission computer to see if I have any jobs I want to knock out before I hit the MTR for Shek Mei. Business is business, my darling. Kindly Chang raps on the mahjong table with an imitation ivory tile. And business has been good since you arrived. Alright, there go to the crew. I guess we can go ahead and, while we're here... Well, let's see. Does Kindly have anything new to say? No time for runners now. I have other business to attend to. Indeed. Well, let's go ahead and talk to Dr. Shen Yang here. A rotund, balding dwarf in a cheap suit turns to face you. Light glints from the heavy gold chains that hang around his neck. When he speaks, the voice that greets your ears is high and nasal, and has been concorded into a rough approximation of a New York accent. Pleased to meet you. Chang was kind enough to arrange this little sit-down between us. He extends a slab-like hand for you to shake. You can call me Dr. Shen Yang. Pleased to meet you. I'm Sean. His grip is as soft as his palm is moist. It's like shaking hands with a boneless ham. You share a long, uncomfortably flaccid handshake before he finally releases you. Looking for a little outside help on a problem I've been having. Ordinarily, I'd handle it myself or have some of my friends see to it, but it's kinda delicate, you know? My guys be noticed before they made any headway on my problem. My guys would be noticed before they made any headway on my problem. So I figure, hey, I have contractors all the time. Maybe as well get some contractors of a different stripe. Well, tell me about your problem. Maybe we can help. I run a little film studio, Southern Crown Films. Mostly do trid work, but we record some sims too. Maybe you've seen some of my stuff. Space Mongols from the Moon, The Flavor of Pomegranates, Ultimate Kill Squad. No, but I like the sound of Ultimate Kill Squad. How much killing do they do? He offers you a chip-tooth grin. A lot. There's this one scene where two trolls gang up on an elf and they... Well, I don't want to spoil it, but believe me, it is glorious. I'll send a copy over to Cheng so you can take a look. Anyway, there's this other guy in the industry, and we've been butting heads since day one. Name's Neville Ma. He runs Yellow Spring Studios. No matter what I do, I can't shut him out of the biz. He always manages to get one over on me, steal my stars. He's been running me into the ground with his show called Promises in Moonlight. The star's a girl named Penelope Wong. New talent, but the viewers have been going nuts over her. She's the show's linchpin. Yeah, hang on, I'm getting there. So about 6 months ago, Neville was out of Guangzhou for some hoity-toity party. He's on the road, probably drunk. A semi comes out of nowhere and pow! Wrecks his fancy new Eurocar Westwind. Bad luck for Neville. Good luck for me. I figure, hey, that's the end of him for the year, and I start planning some new stuff he can't compete with from inside a hospital. You follow me so far? Let me guess. He found a way to compete with you from the hospital. No, worse. The bastard is out of the hospital. He's back in the game, bringing out Season 2 of Promises in Moonlight. I need that show off the air, one way or another, and that, my friend, is where you come in. Already? That's strange. Tell me about it. He should have been in that hospital for at least 3 months, and in physical therapy a lot longer. Only took him like a week to get out. Couldn't freaking believe it. That kind of medical care costs top dollar. He's got a lot of money, but not that much. Recovering time like that means one of two things is going on. Neville could have found himself a silent partner, someone willing to pay top dollar for cutting-edge care. I don't think it's likely, but it could have happened. If it ain't that, the smart money says he's been skimming off the top of Yellow Spring's earnings and not reporting it to the other shareholders. Tell me how I fit into this. I need you to go get something to blackmail Neville with. find out how he could afford to get out of the hospital so fast. He works out of his penthouse most days, so search his computer, closet, sock drawer, whatever. There's got to be something incriminating in there. Where's his penthouse? Neville lives in the Repulse Bay. It's this real swanky joint on the south end of Hong Kong Island, by the bay with the same name. I haven't been able to get anyone in to poke around his apartment because the security's too tight. Lucky for you, though, Neville's throwing a party on the mezzanine level with all the shops and the restaurant and balcony and such. He's celebrating the second season launch of his show and everyone's going to be there. Going to make a real snarl for the building security. You might also want to hit up the party if you can bluff your way in. Everyone close to Neville will be there, and most of them will be 3 sheets to the wind by the time you get there. Some discreet questioning might get me the dirt that I need. Just remember, if you go to the party, don't use your real name. Go with Argyle. Should be safe enough. There's nobody in the biz out here with that name, so no one will ask any questions about how your work's going. I gotta say, Dr. Shenyang, this job sounds pretty underhanded to me. He snorts. Are you kidding? Underhanded is when I frame you for indecent acts on your last trip to Cambodia. Blackmail's just business. Now, the blackmail material is what I need more than anything, but if you can get Penelope Wong out of her contract, I'll pay you extra. Got it? I want that star power on my side. One last thing. I don't want you starting a scene while you're there. You interrupt his party, make a mess, or trash his apartment, and I'm not paying you. We clear on that? We're clear. Good. I can't have Ma knowing that I'm after him. In my business, everyone's got dirty tricks, but if you make it public, you're using them? Dr. Shenyang draws a finger across his throat. That's it. My career's as dead as the People's Republic of China. Nobody will work for, or with me ever again. So don't embarrass me, eh? Got it. Reputation is important. I'll make sure that yours remains intact. Glad to hear it. Listen, you do this for me, I'll make sure you're not only paid well, but also tell all my friends that you come highly recommended. Sounds like we have a deal then. He grins wider. Good man, that's what I like to hear. When you're done, drop Chang a line. I'll come meet you back here and I'll hand over the money. Alright. Let's get all the objectives. Well, now it looks like the crew is back on the bolt hole. And I have some new threads, and now we have a window to get all the jobs done without giving an opportunity to miss anything. So that's good. Also, I discovered we pretty much finished all the crew missions. Apparently, the one with Ractor happens in the main quest, and Duncan here, well, the Raymond Black is pretty much his quest, so that is interesting. Let's check the mission computer, see if anything has changed. No messages. Let's open the jobs directory. View all pending jobs. We have the urgent task. Steel Arm Lou, a Red Paul, managed to get his hands on a prototype laser weapon. Yeah, I think this is the Red Dragon Cold War thing. Okay. Well, I guess we can go ahead and we'll take all the, let's take all the runs here, but first, is that the next, that is the next quest. Well, actually, no. The next quest is this one that we're on for the Kindly's friend. Alrighty. Works for me. And nothing here on the BBS. No pay data for sale. So let's go at least talk to Gaichu. Hey, Ractor. Welcome back. Any thoughts about that last run? A reasonable, pleasant outing. We had a nice stroll, took in the night air, went to a gaudy restaurant, and took a man into custody against his will. He takes a drag on his cigarette. As jobs go, I've had worse. Now, what else would you have of me? Well, that's it. Goodbye, my friend. Have an enjoyable evening. I think we might be done with some of the dialogue for these guys, too. Huh. Alrighty, that's something. Looks like we can inspect some more things. As usual, Gaichu's mementos have been piled back into the box to the point of overflowing. One unusual piece lays atop the various odds and ends, however. A golden hairpin with an orchid motif. The hairpin is delicately crafted, with a long golden stem terminating a chain of orchids that dangle upon a thin chain. Examining this chain more closely, you observe a thin fiber optic wire twining between the links back upward into the stem. There's a small switch near the base of the stem, undoubtedly connected to the fiber optic wire. Flip the switch. At the touch of your finger, the hairpin springs to life. Colored light, blue and purple, plays along the edges of the orchids. Subtle holograms project from the blooms, filling the air with a twinkle of stardust, 1,000 glittering motes. The hairpin's stem produces a quiet, delicate melody that is full of melancholy. After a moment, the song ends, and the room is once again plunged into a deep silence. Glancing at Gaichu, you see he's turned his back to you, and you realize he has stopped breathing. Should I not have done that? I am fine. Do not concern yourself. The rough edge in his voice, however, says otherwise. Gaichu takes a deep breath and begins again. That hairpin belonged to a friend. It was a gift I gave her while we walked along the banks of the Katsura River near Arashiyama. That sounds like a nice memory. It is, very much. It was just so long ago that I do not think of it much these days. It was more innocent time for me. Gaichu finally turns towards you, his expression unreadable. Her name was Sayuri. We met in a spring seminar, an elective on Heian-era court poetry. I was trying to eliminate one of the softer electives I needed to complete my degree. Cocking his head, Gaichu puts a hand to his chin. Have you ever met someone and known within seconds that you would be close? Yes, not often, but sometimes. Then you know the feeling I am speaking of. Gaichu draws a claw down the length of his jaw. Yet there I was, and I knew it. It was not a romantic understanding, but rather that I knew, somehow, that our lives were intertwined. Naturally, we saw more and more of each other over the following weeks, and I suppose friendship turned to something more, as these things do. Gaichu wraps his arms around his torso, looking away. I did not have many friends. I never have. But she was that, and more. She was studying chemistry, which is about as far from global security studies as one can imagine. We had little in common, but it was still more than I really felt with anyone else. Looking back at you, Gaichu shrugs. It was an unconscious relationship because it was easy. I never needed to think about it. What happened? She did not approve of my plans to join Renraku. She found the youth brigade to be offensive and asked me not to devote my life to military pursuits. But I believed I had to. I had set my course and could not change my mind. I refused. She left me. Sayuri said she could not be with someone who would devote himself to murder. She returned the hairpin and told me to keep it to remind me of her when I was deep in the bowels of Renraku's military machine. Sounds like you regret your decision. Perhaps I do, but I would have regretted abandoning my goals as well. That is the nature of life. As one avenue opens, another closes. We all have to sacrifice, to seek our fortunes. Plucking the hairpin from your fingers, Gaichu turns it delicately around in his fingers as he feels the shape. I keep this to remind myself of the things we have to give up, in pursuit of what we think is best. But few of us ever really know what it is that we want. Not truly. We simply grasp at mirages that we think will fulfill us. Humans tie themselves to other people with the most tenuous of strings, thinking love will fill the emptiness inside it. When that fails, we tell ourselves it was not meant to be, that fate or destiny would have wrenched us apart. But that is a convenient lie. It is up to us, and only up to us, to make our futures. So I feel that it would behoove me to never forget the things I have given up in pursuit of the better option. I do not dwell in the past, nor am I haunted by it, but it would be doing Sayuri a disservice to forget what she wanted for me. Gaichu places the hairpin back in the box and turns away. Indeed. Let's see if we can talk to him. The dim cabin's air is thick with the pungency of incense. A small, rudely constructed altar sits near Gaichu's box of mementos. It consists of a wooden box, a few trinkets, and a bowl for burning incense. Gaichu himself is polishing his sword again. He runs a claw along the length of the blade, feeling and listening for nicks and dents. Good evening, Sean. A fine evening, isn't it? He puts the sword aside and smiles in your general direction. What can I do for you? I sort of assumed you'd want to talk about what happened with your team. Of course I have thoughts about it, but why would I burden you or anyone else with them? If you would like to talk about it, then we may by all means. I am a private person by nature, however. This is why I did not seek you out to speak on it. Well, of course I want to talk about it. Are you okay? A curious question. Am I all right? I, the one who survived, who now sheds old life entirely? Who no longer needs worry about assassins on his heels? Yes, I am more than all right. I am free. Allow me to thank you again for interceding on Ishida's behalf. Gaichu bows very low, holding it for almost an uncomfortable amount of time. I had blinded myself to the possibility of ending his life without attempting to avenge my suffering upon him. I could not let him live, but I could forgive him for his blindness and arrogance. The ability to forgive is one of the hallmarks of humanity, and without that, I fear I would have embraced my inhuman nature a little too much. You guided me away from that darkness, and that is a debt I cannot easily repay. You're welcome. I stand by my friends. Gaichu nods sharply, smiling, and I stand by mine as well. I do not mean in any stereotypical Bushido says my sword is yours fashion either. In the shadows, your allies are your life, and you have proven to be the strongest ally I could ask for. It is only right that I return the favor. What did you think of that last mission? Gaichu snorts, teeth bared in amusement. It was a wonderful affair. I had not previously had a chance to go on a run like that. Descending on an elite restaurant, kidnapping a triad red pole, escaping by boat. What is there to be displeased about? Seems like everyone enjoyed the guy's night out. I doubt the triads will shed any tears over Talon's death. He was a blunt instrument, a thug, easily replaced and rarely mourned. We have done this city a service by killing him. It seems unlikely that the 289s will seek revenge. Even if they wanted to, which I doubt, they are too weakened to attack us here. Is there anything else I can do for you? Has killing your old unit changed your outlook on life? Yes. Yes, I think it has. I had thought that embracing my nature as a ghoul would be enough to allow me to survive, become the thing you have been cursed with, so to speak. But I do not think that is true anymore. Instinct has to be tempered with forethought and logic, or the hunger and rage could overwhelm me. I must be careful not to let emotion rule over my self-control. But this shows the synergy of how a strong soul can survive this disease. If they take care and are mindful, perhaps I can show others that we are not all mindless beasts. Regardless, Ishida's sword is now mine. It is a newer blade than my own, and appears to be made with some manner of enhanced decote process along the tungsten carbide edge. He lifts the katana, running one claw down the back of the blade. I have noticed a marked improvement in my speed when using it, particularly with follow-through moves. Should an enemy fall to this sword, I will be able to reposition much more rapidly. So that's his upgrade. Nice. Do you regret having to kill your unit? Gaichu cocks his head as he ponders this. After a long moment, he shakes his head. No, I do not believe I do. We were locked in a dance that could only end with my death or theirs. We chose that path, consciously or not, and I am unwilling to die so that they could live. I value my life, even changed as it is. Their insistence on following the strictures of their duty ensured this end, just as surely as my refusal to die did. I regret only that circumstance and training led us to this point. They were still family to me, even at the end. But if your family turned on you and tried to kill you, you would still defend yourself. And what will you do now? Gaichu recoils, expression one of rank incredulity, or that word. Surely you are joking with me. I will stay here and aid you in your endeavors. I have no other life to turn to, nor anyone else to call friend. As you have aided me, so too will I aid you. This life in the shadows is the most free and open I have ever felt. I have no desire to go or do anything else. Perhaps later I will, but not anytime soon. You have a good night, Gaichu. And the same to you, my friend. And that's where I ran through that really fast. I didn't even really read the dialogue, but we did get an achievement at the end of that, which is cool. So Ractor has nothing new to say. Let's run and see if Wu or any of the others have anything, and then we'll go ahead and end the episode. I think Duncan probably might have something to say. Yeah. The clanking of metal, followed by grunts from hard exercise, erupt from the hatchway of Wu's cabin. First thing you notice when you enter is a renewed cleanliness. The food cans are gone, and his equipment is neatly laid out on his bedding. Everything in its place. Next thing you notice is the smell. It's like a middle school locker room in July. Ugh. Wu finishes his jumping jacks and grabs a towel off his bunk. His exposed flesh gleams with perspiration. Hey. Hey, how's it going? Better. He scrubs his sweaty hand with the towel. I let myself wallow for a while, but now it's time to turn things around. We have work to do. What's your deal? What'd you think about that last run? Actually, it wasn't bad. Reminded me a little of doing undercover work for the Star. We got to go to a fancy restaurant, do some legwork, blend in, and then take a bad SOB into custody and motor off into a speedboat. He smiles wistfully. Made me feel a little like Detective Dirk Chappell from Bounty Hawks. You ever watch that old show on the Trid? Yeah, I saw a few episodes. It was overproduced crap, but it was fun. He huffs indignantly. Overproduced crap? Don't give me that. It was a great show. Back and forth between Chappell and Mia Swade was legendary. I swear, some people don't know what art is when they see it. He loves Michael Bay movies, I imagine. Anyway, in all seriousness, it went about as well as I can imagine any run going. We got Talon out of the way, and that's good. Don't need a bad SOB like that coming back after us. I don't know, Caleb. Doesn't always feel right taking people out like that. It definitely feels like the smart thing to do. Anyway, enough about that. Need anything else? You still thinking about Edward Tseng? He rubs the towel under his arms. Compartmentalized him. Edward Tseng is a topic in a file cabinet in my head. Only thinking about Raymond now. Finding out what happened to him. What really happened to him. Taking it a moment at a time, huh? That's me, Mr. Focus. He continues stretching. Well, we're getting close to the plastic-faced man, Duncan. I know. I haven't stopped thinking about him since we first saw him in that video. The one where he attacked Raymond in the tea house. He wipes down one side of his neck with the towel, folds it, and wipes down the other side. Listen, Caleb, I'm going to press you to take me with you when you head out to snatch him. You take the right people for the job, and then you get the job done, okay? But I want to be there when you interrogate him. I want to hear what he has to say with my own ears. You going to have a problem with that? No, of course not. We're in this together, boss. Good. We're brothers. I hate to have to mess you up. He flashes his pearly whites. Like I said, you can take me with you on the run or not. It's your call. I intend to be there for the fun part. Oh, we'll both have fun. This is where I'll be a little bit vengeful. We'll both have fun with Mr. Plasticface. Good. Let's go to town on him together. He drops his towel on his bunk. This is the guy who knows what the hell's going on. The one who may have killed Raymond. I'm going to squeeze him until I find out what his fracking ancestors know. I'll tell you what, just promise me that you'll be able to control yourself. Otherwise, we are going to have a problem. This is Raymond we're talking about. Wu drops his hands to his side and closes the gap between you. His voice is calm, sober, and deliberate. I'm not going to screw this up. I promise. You told me you were resentful when I took off. Maybe it was about how Raymond handled that thing with Doubletray. Oh, man, we're getting right into this, aren't we? Nah, it's about you disappearing for 8 years without a word. But we're past that now. Wu pulls his right elbow across his chest with his left hand. Gets a good stretch. But that was a messed up night. A lot of things happened, and I wouldn't be surprised if some, I don't know, emotions got jumbled together. Feelings about the way I handled things? That was part of it, sure. I'm still carrying that around. But mostly it was about Raymond. We butted heads before. I'd broken plenty of his rules in the past, but I'd never seen him so disappointed. Still not sure why. Never figured it out. Why don't you start through it from the beginning? Start with when Lockjaw showed up at Ray's house. Wu pulls his left elbow across his chest and lets out a little groan. So this was 2045, years after the summer we moved in with Raymond. We hadn't seen DT or Lockjaw or any of the gang in forever. Raymond's rules. No contact with our hoodlum friends. No visiting the squat to check up on them. Your past is just a story. If you can accept that, your past loses all power over you. Wu wrinkles his nose. You don't sound anything like him. The way I remember it, we woke up in the middle of the night and there was Lockjaw standing in our room covered in blood. My first thought was that Raymond was going to kill us. Can you imagine? There's a teenage Salish Indian covered in blood in our bedroom. And my first thought, though, was I might get in trouble for it. Well, we just started our new life. We were safe for the first time ever. We didn't want to blow it. I know I didn't want to go back to the Barrens. We had it good at Raymond's. Wu throws his elbow behind him and twists at the waist. So Lockjaw's bleeding all over our bedroom and you're whisper yelling, "Where's DT? What happened to Double Tray?" 5 minutes later, we're dressed in black and on our way back to the Barrens. Well, we had to. Of course, if it wasn't for Double Tray, neither of us would be here right now. DT was the one who took us to the teen center and introduced us to Raymond. Man, that was a messed up night. The 162s had overrun the Leary squat. Better position to take on the nukes. Benzo and Tusk were bleeding out. The Hernandez family was half-eaten. And little Joe, that streetwalker with the electric false eyelashes, was lying on the floor in 2 parts. Yeah, but we got Double Tray out alive. He was the only one, though. Wu stares at his boot. I could still hear Lockjaw screaming as the ghouls took him down. When the 162s wanted something, they did not play. Anyway, all of that was just a lead-up. He lets out a long, slow breath. But still, it speaks to my state of mind that night. Why I wouldn't back down when Raymond met us at the door. Well, you two really went at it. We both had the strength of the righteous. You and I had broken his rules out of loyalty, out of gratitude. He just didn't get that. But can you see it from his perspective? Now I can, yeah. Wu rubs his head, thinking. He didn't just think we had broken his rules or that we'd backslid. He thought we'd been playing him the whole year. That we were still street hoods. No wonder he was so furious. He felt betrayed. But you were able to get him to calm down and see reason. Get him to see my side of the story. And all you said was that one thing. The thing he said his mother used to say to him when he was being obstinate. What the hell was it? Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Wu nods his head, remembering. Yeah, that intent to reply thing really got to him. He saw it every time I was talking. He was thinking of the next thing to say back. Using his mother's words on him really did the trick. Wonder what kind of childhood he had. He rubs his chin. But the way he looked at you after that... Yeah, we were never the same. Yeah, well, look, you and I are cool now. And as for Edward Tseng, maybe he's got mommy issues. Wu chuckles humorously. Who knows? Maybe I've got a few daddy issues to deal with too. Guess I should try and keep an open mind when we see him. Indeed. Alright, well, let's actually head up here real quick. I don't think ISO and Gobbet will have much to say. Oh, Gobbet will want to have a lot to say about the sinking ship, won't she? Well, I'll tell you what, I will end the episode here, guys, and then we'll talk to the ladies and then get on to do some studio sabotage. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, go ahead and click like down below, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help, and we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.